Hey everybody, Ben here from the Bonehead podcast, and welcome to Tournament Talk. We are looking at tournament rosters for all of the teams that have been spawned in the Blood Bowl 2020 rulebook. Size-wise, every tournament tends to be a little bit different, so we're looking at 1.1 million and 1.2 million builds. The whole point of that is it gives you an idea of what you can fit into those sizes, therefore you can add or subtract a little bit to basically get the team that you want. It's also going to give you an idea of what kind of teams you can face against next year when tournaments reopen. We will also look at some key skills. Every tournament is also different in the way that they allocate skills, but if there's a really key skill that we think you should give to one of your players in a specific build, we'll talk through that as well. The whole idea is just to get you inspired for the kind of lists you can run next year, and we're going for the big team now. We're going to look at Wood Elf tournament rosters. Okay, so let's open up with the 1100 standard. So if you've watched the Wood Elf starting league rosters, you'll know that you cannot get a lot of Wood Elves for 1 million. But for 1.1, you actually can take almost everything you fancy taking. So in this roster here, which comes in at 1095 or 1,095,000, you get 2 War Dancers, 1 Thrower, 2 Catchers, and 6 Line Elves. So only 11 players. Now with that, however, you get 2 rerolls, and we've suggested that you take an Apothecary. You can't afford the 12th player, but the Apothecary essentially becomes that, and you're going to want to keep your War Dancer on the pitch. You're going to want to keep your Catcher on the pitch. So that Apothecary essentially kind of takes you up 2.5 War Dancers, for example. So with this roster, you get 2 War Dancers. I cannot ever really advise you to take less than 2 War Dancers. Starting a league, maybe you can take 1 and save up, but in a tournament situation, you want those guys to be scoring and doing things right now. So having 2 of them out of the bat, really important. The War Dancers are there to be your reserve catchers, your runners, and your blitzers. Skills wise, you can give them anything you like, they just get better. So Strip Ball, Frenzy, and Sidestep will all help them basically become ball hawks. So they're going to help you sack the ball carrier. Strip Ball is going to be massively useful with War Dancers. Now Leap is worse than it was before. I think if you're dodging into a 3 tackle zone cage, it's a 4+ now. So these rerolls are going to be pretty important. It's not a great strategy anymore. It used to be a kind of like, 3+ with a reroll, it'd be fine. Now it's kind of like, I'm going to have to take a risk to do that. That is why Sidestep is so useful, because actually you pop him on the corner of a cage, they block him, he's got blodge, you support him with some line muggles and it will keep him relatively safe. He's going to be able to sidestep into the cage. Don't always do that, that's a terrible idea, but he's going to be able to maneuver and stay in contact exactly where he wants to. Frenzy, however, and Strip Ball are both going to maximize opportunity. So if you do manage to get into a cage on a 3+ or a 4+, it's going to be massively, massively beneficial to just kind of get as many attacks and as effective attacks as you can on the ball carrier. Tackle will be a very effective safety for the War Dancer. So if you are worried about playing against a load of elves or gutter runners and things like that, having a War Dancer with tackle that you can place in reserve as safety is going to give you a really solid defense. Now the only one we haven't discussed here is a double. Relatively speaking, at tier 1 the chances of getting doubles are pretty low, but giving a War Dancer break tackle essentially increases his agility to +1, 1+, which is going to be quite useful for jumping into cages because you've got that dodge reroll. Again, it's still going to be a, 1 tackle zone 2, 2 tackle zone 3, 3 tackle zone 4. So it's still going to be 4+, you get the dodge reroll. Definitely something to consider. On with the Thrower. So the Thrower, you've got a few options here. If you want that 3rd reroll because your playstyle is risky, okay, if you want to be dodging and leaping into cages, then taking a leader on the Thrower for a single skill will give you that 3rd reroll. It's just going to help your team as an entirety. Just you're going to be able to get away with a little bit more. Now you get away with a lot being a Wood Elf anyway, but sometimes that 1 just rocks up and wrecks you. Taking a leader reroll is going to help you with that 3rd save. Alternatively, you can maximize the Thrower's ability to be a bit of a passer. or at least a ball picker-upper. On the ball will allow you three free squares after the kickoff to get to that ball. In this roster, you've got 2 catches, you've got 2 war dancers. That's 4 movement 8 pieces. You are going to be able to strike fast, and OTB is going to help your thrower get exactly where he wants to be. Accurate and Cannoneer is just going to make your passing game better. So it's going to be passing 1+, 2+, 4+, 5+ with Accurate, and 2+, 3+, 3+, 4+ with Cannoneer. I would probably suggest taking Leader and allowing your war dancers and catchers to just do stuff. Catchers themselves, they come with a lot of skills. They've got dodge and catch already. You can take sprint, sure feet to make them faster, or block to protect them, and I don't think there's really a bad choice. On the line elves, if you've got spare skills that you can't put on your other players, kick is superb on this team. You've got 4 movement 8 guys, and everybody else is movement 7. Not only have you got 4 movement 8 guys, but you've got 4 movement 8 guys who all have dodge, so you do have the ability to kick deep and split their team in 2, or to kick close and swoop in around the side and envelop them. Kick will be really useful to help you win like an extra game or tournament, I reckon. Failing that, chuck dodge on them. You're going to be deploying on the line. 2+ dodging away is going to keep your guys alive, so definitely recommended that. So this is the 1100 standard because it gives you everything you need as a wood elf to succeed. Let's have a look at some alternatives. And first up is the 1100 tree. So you're looking at this roster and you're thinking, I'm getting a lot here for 1100. 2 war dancers, 1 thrower, 2 catchers, 5 line elves, and a tree man. Takes you to 11 players. You've still got 2 rerolls. So essentially what you're doing is you're dropping your apothecary and upgrading a line elf to a tree man. The other thing you can do is drop a war dancer and take the tree man instead and keep the apothecary. It's really interesting, and obviously Blood Bowl is a game of risk management, and when you're building this list you are in fact managing your risk. The advantage of the tree is that it's armor 75+, so it is never going to die. The tree coming with armor 11+, I think, is massive for defense. So you will be putting 3 guys on the line at all times. Those 3 guys are going to get absolutely punched. I think it's got thick skull as well. Yeah, it does. So the tree man is going to take some punching and going to be able to deliver some back as well. It will get left behind on offense, and generally speaking your plan is to dodge your guys away from the line so that they don't die. The tree man's going to be there to do some work. If you want to give it some skills, you can give it block on a double if you've got it. Brawler works pretty well, and guard if you intend to support it. I think if you do want to chuck a tree man skill and you only have a single, I don't think brawler or grab would be terrible choices, allowing you to just make better blocks or position your opponent's pieces, which will massively help you because this team is all about positioning. So you can take the tree. You have to give up a little bit of agility and a little bit of resilience when it comes to the rest of your team, but I don't know. It's your choice whether you want to have a line elf on the line for 16 turns or a tree man. It's a tough one. And then when you whack it up to 1200, you get the extra line elf. You don't actually get a huge amount more. All you really do is have the ability to take that 12th line elf. The other thing you can do instead is take the same build as before with 1100, chuck in the apothecary, chuck in the 3rd reroll. That'll allow you to reallocate the leader skill if you're going to do it, or just keep leader if you want to go full reroll heavy and just go diving places. You shouldn't be diving with the war dancer. As you can see, you don't get a massive increase in what you get with the wood elves between 1100 and 1200. So if you are playing wood elves without stars, it's really up to you what you take and what you don't take. The thing is though, if you've got your 2 war dancers and you've got some rerolls, you're in a good spot. This roster, thrower, 2 catchers, you've got an absolutely blitzing pass game as well. Now passing is suboptimal and it will lose you probably more games than it would win, but for a stretch play or just the fact that you've got that speed, 2+ with a reroll is often worth taking the risk on. So if your thrower is going to be doing that, that's 7 movement squares, 3 to do the pass, that's 10 squares, and then 8 squares for the war dancers and catchers. 2+ with a reroll, followed by a 2+ with a reroll if it's a catcher. Those are very good odds, and if you're going to lose a game, failing those rolls, you were going to lose the game anyway. 1200, you get a little bit of everything, and that just makes Wood Elves even better. Okay, so let's look at some star players now. We've seen already that Wood Elves are super expensive, but there's a couple of stars you can take that are actually just going to help your team be stronger. So we've talked about passing. The thrower here is not bad. Gloriel's Summerbloom, however, is not great. She is fantastic. Okay, so Gloriel's Summerbloom, if you guys have seen the Star Player Spotlight video, you'll know that she is an absolute machine. 150,000, Movement 7, Strength 2, so that's going to lower the strength of your team. Agility 2+, Passing 2+, Armor 8+, Accurate, Dodge, Loner 3+, Pass, Sidestep, and Sure Hands. So getting this player allows you to have, at 1200, your 2 War Dancers to do War Dancer things. You've got your thrower, so you've got an integral thrower there. Also, just the same as alignment. You've got 2 catchers for that movement 8 shenanigans as well, and having catching targets. You've got 6 Line Elves as well, who are not bad, movement 7, agility 2+. You've got 2 rerolls in this roster. You can take that third one with the thrower, and then you've got Gloriel, who has got the ability with accurate to 1+, 2+, short and quick and short passes, has got the pass reroll, and has also got sure hands. So you can use the thrower as a reserve thrower, or a leader caddy basically, and you've got Gloriel there that can swoop in, grab the ball, and just quickly and almost automatically farm that off to whoever you want to strike with. It also means that in a situation where you need to score in 2 turns, you can pop 4 players in the backfield there, and with that amount of movement, like we said before, 7 squares plus 3 for the quick blast, which is a 1+, or 6, so that's 6 squares where she's 2+ with a reroll. You don't even need to worry about the loner here. Gloriel is going to give you a huge opportunity to succeed, because while your opponent can tag all 4 of your scoring threats, your elves, all 4 of those scoring threats have a 2+ dodge. You're going to have a great scoring opportunity with Gloriel Summerbloom. I'm a huge fan of this star player. In fact, that's why I've been painting up this model for her. I think we're going to see quite a lot of her. I think she's a good utility star. And in Wood Elves, you don't have to give up too much. It's kind of, do I take the tree or do I take Gloriel Summerbloom? I, loving my touchdowns, would take Gloriel. And last but not least, we have got the other star player I've been painting up, Willow Rosebark. So Willow used to be just for halflings. She is now 150k and is just for elves. So very much like we just spoke about, the roster is exactly the same as the Gloriel build. Instead of taking a tree man, you are taking Willow Rosebark, essentially. So Willow is 150k for a strength 4 piece. She doesn't have any combat skills, so definitely consider that. She's movement 5, strength 4, agility 3+, passing 6+, armor 9+. She's got dauntless, loner 4+, sidestep, and thick skull. So what does this bring to your team? Is there a difference between strength 6 and strength 4? Yes, there is, massively. But Willow has the extra movement. She is still slow, and at movement 4, movement 5, she's still likely to get left behind by your team. But being able to dodge away on a 3+, which she shouldn't be doing, don't try that, but it gives you the opportunity. She's got sidestep. She's still strength 4. You are still going to be making 2 die blocks. Strength 6 is great if you want to chuck an assist on there for 3 dice. Realistically, you're going to want to disengage your elves. So you're kind of making almost the same blocks with Willow as you would with the Tree Man. She's still got solid defense, solid armor, and strength 4. Willow might just give you a faster brawler to replace that tree if you're worried about getting smashed about. Personally, if you're going to take a star, I would take Gloriel. I feel like it fits in with the Wood Elf build, but that's agility. This one actually brings a bit of resilience, and there is some stuff here where you could take Willow and a tree and just go Wood Elf strong line. I don't know if that's playing to your strengths, but if you've played Wood Elves, you've played with 1 War Dancer, because 1 War Dancer always dies. You've still got enough on offense to score here with Wood Elves. So really interesting. And what Willow does is it actually gives you a bit of resilience while still having relatively good speed. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up the Wood Elf tournament rosters here. As you can tell, they're all tightly packed because the positionals are so bloomin' expensive that it means you kind of have some tough choices to take. But I don't think it's that tough. I think 1100 just Wood Elves is going to win quite a lot. You're going to have some skills, and you've got a couple of stars that you can do some pretty powerful stuff with. I'm not sure you can even fit Roxanna into 1100 or 1200 without absolutely destroying your team. I think having War Dancers that can use rerolls and throwers and catches and stuff is better than one Roxanna. If you want to run Roxanna, go for Pro Elves at Elf Union. But I think for Wood Elves, just stick with doing Wood Elf things. They are superb for a reason. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you think of these rosters and if we've missed any out. And I will see you again soon for some more tournament rosters.